Okay. Moisheke wird ungeduldig. So Moisheke becomes impatient. Der große Huvel und der harte Suck haben sich ihm wochendig reingemischt, Punkt, wie die brudne stoljerke frier. So the big plane and the hard knot really intruded in exactly the same way as the dirty carpenter's wife did earlier. Zit, beter sich und guckt weg ohne Zeit. Singt noch ein bisschen. So this is Moshe saying, look, and he looked away on the side, not looking straight at the carpenter. Sing a little more. Hebt auf Simche Stoljer seine moderne, strahlendicke Augen und guckt an dem kleinen Zuhörer seinem mit der Schmeichel. So Simcha, the carpenter, lifted his strange, shining eyes and looked at the small kid who was listening to the small little boy who was listening to him with a smile. Achochem macht still zu Zalken sein Gehilf. Du hörst doch, versteht alles. So Simcha said to his assistant, Zolka, look how he's clever. Do you hear? He understands everything. Und so schockelt sich gleich noch dem über seine Arbeit und sofort sich mit dem Huvel über dem zweiten Seitbrett. Und sein singendiger, übergerissener Drosche flecht sich weiter. And he swayed in the same way that he did before over his work, and he moves with the plane over the second side of the plank, and his singing interrupted drosha twists along again further. So, Goyim wissen nicht dem Emerson Tam von Abed. So,
great. See,
Goyim don't know the real meaning of a bed. Jiddische Kinder wissen ja. Jewish children know the meaning of a bed. Die armste gesehen wie Ivan schläft in Dorf. So the poorest ones of them, have you seen how Ivan, that means the Russian, sleeps in the village? Auf die Hilsen Polatius azelchene auf stroyene Zek achaloshes. So they sleep on wooden planks. This Polatius actually means a Polish woman, but I think it means they sleep on planks. like a kind of a shelf on a straw bag. Achaloshes, it's nauseating. Oder schläft efscher Jurke Echas in Kasarme, wie es gehört zu sein, and perhaps this oath, the Ivan, the Russian peasant, perhaps he sleeps in the barracks, the Kasarme, as it should be. Jüdische Kinder, sehr keppelig, soll mir sein, sie wissen schon, grod ja, but Jewish children, they've got the right idea and they know exactly how it should be. Bei Kabbalah haben sie das von seinen Eltern wie Shabbos dicke Zimmers, wie Pesach dicke Knedlich. So the Jewish children have this as a tradition from their parents. It's the same as Shabbos dicke Zimmers and Pesach dicke Knedlich, which are these very traditional dishes that we eat. Aber Simchas Bet allein is noch gar nicht. But Simcha's bed on its own, it's nothing. Simcha gibt dem Guf und die Neshama gibt die Mama. Simcha makes the bed and the soul is made by the mother. Orna Mammon is Simcha's bet, kein bet nicht. Without a mother, this Simcha's, the bed that Simcha makes, it's not a real bed. Puchele zu Puchele kleibt die Mama on federal to federal. So this Puchele is the soft part of the feather. The down, a piece of down to a piece of down, the mother collects without the taking it off the hard part of the feather. Die Kischele für der Tochter wachsen anhören. So
sorry, climb the mama on feather to feather. It's one feather to on top of the other. It's not, the on is not, doesn't mean here without.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, but I understood it because it's puchale, the down.
Yeah.
It's without the stalk in the middle of the feather, which makes it hard. It's the down.
Yeah, I see. Soft. Yeah, I see what you're saying. But federal to federal, it wouldn't appear federal to federal if it
to federal. It wouldn't be. It would be on federal without the stalk.
Okay.
But if if he says on federal to federal, it's not clear really, but because
is it Clayton? The on is the preposition for clay.
Kleiben, yeah.
Yeah, that's how I see
it. Federal to federal. On Kleiben, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the.
You know, in the present tense, the separate converb. You know about that, Jakob. So.
Yeah, no, it separates, yes, these certain verbs. Okay.
Sorry.
So the cushion, the daughter's cushion is growing, Kenan Hora. Die Peronicus for der Tochter, yeah, so the down blankets are growing for the daughter are growing. That's her nadan for when she gets married. Mit Eberbetten und Unterbetten füllt man euch simches betterlich. So with beds on top and beds underneath, they fill up simches beds. Liegt eine jüdische Tochter in ausgenähten Hebel und ihr koschere Ponym leuchtet raus von der Mamas Bettgewand. So in this bed, this Jewish girl lies with her embroidered bonnet on her head, and her kosher face shines out from her mother's bedclothes. A bas malka, a princess, in mikveh ausgekilt, alle dinim opgehit. So she's cooled down in the mikveh, and she's observed all the laws. Wie soll man sie nicht lieb haben? Und wie soll man sie teuer nicht halten? So how is it possible that you shouldn't love her and hold her very dear? Heinz, wer redt noch? As Gott geht a Kaddish, as Gott geht a Kaddish wird geboren. And so what's to talk about? If God willing, a little boy will be born to say Kaddish. Bobret sich der Tachschüttel bei der Mammen auf der Brust. Jeder Glied seiner ist ausgekuscht. Jeder Beinderle ausgeglätt. So the this little child, the Tachshitl, ramages in his mother's breast, at his mother's breast, and each limb of his is kissed many times, and each little bone of his body is caressed. Frag ich bei dir, Moschenke, können wir weiter weg von Azabet? So I ask you, Moshe, is it possible to go very far away from such a bed? Kann man weit weg von Azar, Weib und Kind? Is it possible to go far away from such a wife and child? Moshekin wird plötzlich heiß in die Augen läpplich. Rote Flecken zerbrennen sich in seine volle Becklich. And suddenly Mosheke, he gets very red in the face. Red spots appear on his full cheeks. An Unruhigkeit kommt auf ihm. He becomes very unsettled. Sehr. Und wo seinen das sein Mama, Tate und Mama? And this is what he's thinking. Where are his father and mother? Seine Betten and their beds? Kiva und Sarah seinen doch nicht. So Kiva and Sarah, they are not his real parents. A mamzer is doch. He is an illegitimate child. Hirschel, der Melamed allein, hat ihm das noch geschrien. So Hirschel, the teacher, himself, he shouted this out to him. Es will sich immer fragton mikoyach dem beim Singerdicken Stoller. He so he wanted to ask about this, concerning this, from the singing carpenter. Nor schämt sich, but he was embarrassed. Es ist eine tiefe kindische Wund, welche hat mehrere anzurühren. This matter is a very deep childish wound in him, and he really is very afraid to approach this issue. Nor sagen muss etwas, but he has to say something. Hebt Pavolia auf die beulete kleiner Augen und geht still afraid. So he lifted up very slowly, striking his clear eyes, little eyes, and quietly he asked, Zet Reb Simcha, und ich will haben a bed? So look, Reb Simcha, and would I have such a bed?
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, Nechama, geh weiter.
Avade macht. Geh weiter. Maskin. Avade macht der Stolje, wirst du haben. Of course, says the carpenter, you will have. Mit alle jüdische Kinder gleich. Like all the other Jewish children. Simcha Stolje wird noch der Leben machen dir 2 Betten zu dein Chassene und schlaf sich gesund Schinderkeit mit dein Bescherte. What a wish.
Gesundheit.
Gesundheit.
The saying is Gesundheit, but Gesundheit, okay. This is very Litvak.
Very Litvak. Gesundheit.
The
Gesundheit, we've all here.
It's like saying more for Moishinke.
For Moishinke, directly to him.
Yeah.
Will Simcha, the stolier, the carpenter, will live and make you 2 beds for your wedding, and you will sleep in a healthy way with your bashert, with your meant-to-be bride. Nor Moishekin gleibt sich epis nit, but Moisheke doesn't really believe this. Geht Reus von Stolias Wartschat a Vertrachte, a Treuerike. He goes out of the carpenter's workplace, a distracted one, a sad one. Es glust sich im Weinen und weiß nicht verwuss. It's like he wants to cry and he doesn't know why. Seine Augen gucken a bissele verglotzt. His eyes look a little, I think it's like glazed, you know.
Okay.
Sie sieht schon nicht erzählt mit sein kinderschen Husch, sein Sof. Maybe you can see the way Schneer is bringing us to the end of a section. He already
Yeah.
einmal nicht ankommen, als Moisheke Mamsel, wird keinmal sein eigenes Bett nicht haben. So if he already feels that the carpenter's blessing for him will never be fulfilled, and as he, Moisheke, will never have his own bed, not his own in the in the sense of the warmth and the beauty and the love, he'll never have this. Und deswegen wird Moscheles Zugebundenheit zum Solia von Tag zu Tag stärker. Von deswegen, I always think it means like however, but I know
Nevertheless.
Nevertheless. So in spite of this little discussion, his bond with the carpenter became stronger every day. A zelche glättingdicke Werte, wie hält bei Reb Simchen in Wartschat, hält von keinem nicht. The caressing, the soft words that he hears from in the Reb Simcha's house, in the workplace, Reb Simcha's workplace, he doesn't hear from anybody else. Afilu von Stern sein Mama, was will spielen die Emisse Mama. He doesn't even hear such words from Shtera, his mumma, that's what he calls her, who wants to play the role of the true mother. Wird a ben bayis in Stolleris' Stibele. He becomes like a, how do you translate a ben bayis? Like
a son of his house.
A son of his house, but I mean,
a frequent visitor.
A family member.
A family member. It's very strong. It's a very strong connection.
Family member, I think.
Kennt schon alle seine Gezeig bei die Nehmen und kennt sein ganz bissel Urmkeit. He knows already all of the instruments by their names, and he knows a little bit of their Urmkeit, of their poverty. Und einmal hat bemerkt, als Reb Simchas eigene Betten seien alt und gemacht von Postenholz. And one time, this smart little boy noticed that Reb Simcha's own bed was old and was made from a very common kind of wood. Und nicht gelackt seien sie, and not lacquered nicely, nor roy fargelebt mit a moistere, ausgeblitter Amisa. But it was covered with an ugly color. Und als man legt sich in sie rein, krächzen sie. I don't know how he knew this. And as you lay down in them, they creak and they moan. Sie ochsen wie alte Jiden mit kranke Beine, like old Jews with sick bones. Is in die Sache sehr kashe geworden. And it became a very difficult thing for him, that this was the way the carpenter's beds were. Und wenn Reb Simcha hat sich einmal wieder gewöhnt zu singen wegen Bettlech für jüdische Kinder, hat auf im Moscheke angestellt seine blaue, a bissel starre Augen und a Freigetun. And one time when Simcha was singing about beds for Jewish children, Moisheke put his blue a little bit
staring.
Zet, Reb Simcha, was macht ihr sich allein nicht kein neue Betten? You know, why, Reb Simcha, why don't you make yourself a new bed? Und ungewissen mit ein Finger auf Reb Simchas Schlafwinkel, hinteren sitzenem Vorhandel. And he pointed with one finger to Simcha's sleep room behind the curtain. I don't know what zitzinim is. Zitzinim.
Chins.
A chins. Oh, always this word's showed up before. Chins, like squares. A very. Simcha hat abgelosen sein Arbeit und genommen drehen dem Hovel in seine jedne fleißige Hand. Simcha, at this point, put down his work and began to turn his plane in his. Now, I always thought jedna means greedy. Jedna.
Yearning.
Yearning hands, in his yearning hands.
Mm.
His yearning hands. Seine bläu-grüne Augen, his turquoise Augen, haben sich zerstrahlt. His turquoise eyes began to, what was it?
To shine, to shine.
Shine. Bist a Teil Kind, macht Moishele. Wie a Chochem fragst du. You are really a dear child, Moisheke. Like a smart person, you ask. Und bald noch fleißiger anem getun sich, hebeln wenn und singen. He always had, and he immediately begins to take and begins to do his planing and to sing. Strockes haben genommen fliehen und befliegete Wörter. So these wood chips began to fly around, and also the words are flying around also. It always goes together, the work and the song.
The winged words.
The winged words, so beautiful. All right, do you want me to read one
Thank
other
you.
bit? All right.
Thank you, Nechama. Goldele.
Bei allem hat Simchas Talje das ganze Leben gehubbelt und gekleidet und gelacht. From everything, Simcha the carpenter, his whole life, Simcha he planed and worked and did his carpentry. And for sich gar nicht mit gar nicht. And for himself, he never had anything. Nicht kein Bank, nicht kein Alma. He didn't have a nice chair, not an Alma, a closet for his clothes. Kein Zeit nicht gewesen. He had never had time. Kein Molafilla, kein Zeit nicht gehabt zu verrichten die paar alte Kastens, wo und Weib schlafen scheint. He never even had time to correct the old chests that he and his wife, the beds that he and his wife slept in. Uneinhöre, without
The evil eye.
right, the evil eye, from the chasana on, with the evil eye from his wedding on. Heint der Recht. Today, who's speaking? Machen sich upon neue Betten. Make a new beds. Wer hat das Zeit? Who has the time, Meishike? Und wer hat Cup? And who has time and who has the head for it? Der Fall, mein Sohn, als Mashiach wird kommen, wollen alle Jiden schlafen in hölzerne Betten von Hemsenholz und von Sandelholz. und Simcha der Stolje wird schlafen in einem goldenen Bett mit ausgeprägten Leiden und mit Dementenne Magen Davids. And that's why when the Messiah will come, all the Jews will sleep in wooden beds from the finest woods and from sandalwood, and Simcha, the carpenter, will sleep in a golden bed with carved figures and with
Lions.
Lions, Leiden.
Leiden.
Lions.
Yes, I said the Leiden. And
Yeah.
with diamond Magen Davids. Alle Jeden von Shklov, all the Jews from our town, wollen sich damals zudecken mit Vatove Koldres und Simcha Stolje. All the Jews from Shklov will at that time cover themselves with
Added.
yes, with feathers.
Quilted. I thought it's quilted, but
Yes,
Quilted.
with quilted
quilted.
covers. And Simcha, the carpenter, with purple, versus mit gold gehaften, that is made with gold, intertwined with gold.
Embroidered. It's
Okay, embroidered. At wird sich Simcha Stolje ausruhen. And at that time, Simcha the carpenter will rest as Mashiach wird kommen, when Messiah.
Amen. Amen.
yeah.
Moshe stellt sich plötzlich auf ein aufgeregter und schlagt über Simchas Gesang von Mashiach Seiten. Moshe suddenly stands and he's angry and he interrupts him from Mashiach's time. When Yichel a demos haben a mama, and will I at that time have a real mother, a true mother? Simchen fällt schier nicht raus, der Hügel von Hand. Simcha's plane almost fell out of his hand. Seine Tiergesehne Augen, his purple eyes gucken on sein kleinem Gast mit Schreck. He looks at the small guest with fear. Was wahrscheinlich fragst du etwas? What kind of questions are you asking? Wer hat dir das angerücken? Who told you that? Stärke, Maishila, is thy mama. Stärke, Maisha, is your mother. As I get via mama, as good as a mother can be. Feeds zwei mamas, like two mothers. Waran mamas Maishinka, for signing a Sacherga. There are mothers, little Maisha, that are a lot worse. Was fast to affect the kinder saying the apekel it's in a vesh. Why are you throwing away the children?
No.
Their children.
They throw away.
Was signing a Sacherga. Was far from the back. Who throws away the children, their children, like a sack of torn laundry? Maishik's Augen werden aber noch größer. Maish's eyes open even wider. Tritt zu Simchas noch neinte. he slowly walks over to Simcha even closer und fragt mit der geheimnisvoller Stimme and asks him with a homey, with a voice full of hominess, nicht wie a Kind, like an adult, not like a child. My Mama, die Emisse Mama, hat euch also getan? And my mother, my true mother, did she also do that? Du, Meichenke, speist euch Reb Simcha, und der Panem, sie knet sich bei ihm, wie von Säuers. Meichenke, he spits out, Simcha spits out, and his face gets all wrinkled up as if he tasted something sour. Was drummelt sich dir im Kopf? What's going on in your head? Was? Risha. Hebt plötzlich und schreien zu sein Weib. He calls Risha. He suddenly starts calling for his wife, who's in the kitchen. Come here, Tyrante. Come here, sweetness. Give Michael an epis a gute Sach. Give them epis. Give Michael something good, a good thing. Give him something. Die Stoljerke, sie ihr Steiger ist, the Stoljer's wife, who knows her place like she's accustomed to, auf a Horvete und a bissel auf a bitterte. She's always so busy and trying to do everything, and also a little embittered. Kriegt der Reis von Kirch mit der verräucherten Haare und fischt sich die nasse Hand mit der Vater. She creeps out of the kitchen where, with her messed up bonnet, and she wipes her wet hands on her apron. Give him, Krimtsi Yaman. She imitates her husband. Give him good things, good Sachen. Sollen him taka by Kiva der Lekech macher? Does he miss something? By Kiva, the baker? If alle jüdische Kinder gesagt worden, all Jewish children should have that.
Thank you, Goldale. It's me now. Gib ihm etwas, gib ihm, steht Simcha nicht ab von sein Weib. Simcha doesn't leave her alone with it. He says, he insists, give him something. Was redest du was? Was wissen, was fragt? A bitter heart. What are you talking about? You ought to know what he's asking about. He has a bitter heart. He's suffering. Hast doch ein gekauft frische Pflaumen, hast du doch. Give him a Pflaum. But you just bought fresh plums today, right? So give him a plum. Susan Emes, it's true. Rische Tage heint in the free gekauft Pflaumen. Rische really this morning bought plums. Und Moscheke bekommt in Hand rein a bloi rote frische Pere. Moscheke receives into his hand a fresh blue-red fruit. Nimmt das on und sieht nicht klar, was nimmt. He takes it, but he doesn't see clearly what he takes. Die blaue Augen sind ihm noch vergossen mit Zar. His blue eyes are still, they are filled, they are kind of wet with
worry.
with pain.
Pain.
Probably the vergossen is from tears.
Crying.
Fühlt aber, als das wird ihm gegeben, nur kede überzuschlagen seine harbe Kasches. He feels that this is being given to him in order to avoid his 4 questions. How I see it, 4 kashes, the 4 questions that you know,
difficult.
the Passover, the Seder.
He's difficult. Harba
But yeah, that too may be difficult, maybe for, I know, yeah.
I think difficult. It makes more
Difficult,
sense here.
okay. Okay.
Because he asked, will I have a mother? Will I get a bed? You know,
That
he's
is true.
asking
Yeah,
the
I
hard
know.
questions of his life.
Yeah, okay. Aber wie nur beißt rein in der saftiger Flohen Biskel Bändele, weißt du schon, als kein gute Sache in der Welt ist nicht so Geschmack wie dem Stoliars gute Sache. Now, as soon as he bites, the saftig is like delicious.
Juicy.
Yes.
Zaftig.
Juicy, okay, juicy. They say
Juicy.
about a woman's is
We know what they say. We know.
Yeah.
We know this. She's zaftig. Have you ever heard that a man is zaftig? Only a woman is zaftig.
A plum.
Plum, yeah, plum, yeah. So
Unschuldig Mir Yankov.
in the saftige flowing biskel bindel, as soon as he bites into the plum, up to the seed. Weißt du schon, als kein gute Sache in der Welt ist nicht so Geschmack wie dem Stoliars gute Sache. He knows that there's no other good thing in the world that tastes as good as the carpenter's good thing. Like this is the best thing in the whole world, this plum. Alle Leckerchen, Mandelbegelach und gehackte Kekelach Rogenkäse, was die Mumisch Zerre macht, was der Vetter Kiewe prägelt, seien ihm schon lang prickere geworden, mit sehr teuter Süßkeit und mit sehr weißen dicker Gewürzkeit. So now there's a comparison between the good things that he gets at home and this plum, and all the good things that he gets at home, the cakes and the bagel and the all this stuff that they make, that the aunt Sarah makes, and the uncle now give fries. You hear me?
Mm-hmm.
I lost
Now
you for a minute. Yeah,
we lost you for a
touched
minute.
the computer.
But you're back. You're back.
Okay, I'm back. Yeah. all those things that he got at home became already this taste.
Disagreeable.
They lost the taste. But aber mit der kleinen Floin was knockt, ist Punkt wie von Stolyars Bäum abgerissen, von Stolyars Haus. But that fruit
It's not from the boim.
As if it was picked out of the carpenter's tree, not from the carpenter's heart, which means that maybe he feels that the carpenter has more love in him for him than his the aunt and the uncle. There's more love in the food that he gives him. Es hat dasselben Tam wie der Stolyars Gesangen, weich und treuerig und süß. It has the same taste that the carpenter's songs have. It's soft and sad and sweet. Okay. Aufgegessen dem Stolyars gute Sach und ausgespeit das Bändele, spart Moscheke on a größer Gefühl von Dankbarkeit. Now that he already ate the carpenter's good thing, and after he spat out the seed,
The pit,
what is it called?
the pit.
Oh, the pit. Yeah, thank you. Moshe starts feeling like a great feeling of thankfulness toward Simcha. Simcha zewent sich weiter bei sein Arbeit und Moscheke macht sich still heraus von Stuhl. Simcha starts already crying again while doing his work, and Moscheke
Wait a minute. Zerwickt.
I saw it zerwent. Yeah, zerwickt. Yeah, sorry.
Zerwickt. Is that zerwickt? I mean, just is that like a wiggle, like a wiggle turning to his work again?
He's just moving
Goes
while
back-
he's working. You know,
Goes back
while
to
he's
the-
singing, he's moving to the music.
Yeah.
It's somehow I did not see here the gimel, but I saw a noon. Okay. And Moishke just sneaks out quietly, sneaks out of the house. In a minute herum läuft zurück herein mit der großen dreieckigen Stück Lecker. A minute later he comes back to the carpenter with a piece of cake with a three-cornered piece of cake. A ganzer Viertel von a Skoverode. It's a quarter of a frying pan. Not macht here, take, he says. Reb Simcha, lekker, take, Reb Simcha, cake. Lekker go, wundert sich Simcha Stolyar. Inmitten dienstig lekker. He wonders, cake in the middle of Tuesday, cake? Rishinke calls his wife, ruft sein Weib, komm ze, Moschenke, komm ze, Moschenke hat uns gebracht lecker. Come, see, Moschenke, here you are. He brought us cake. Die Stoliarke ruft Reus dem Kopf und Kich, und der Stoliar fragt euch Moschenke auf Chikaves. The carpenter's wife sticks her head out of the kitchen, and the carpenter asks Moshe out of curiosity. Die Mame deine, ich mein, die Mumme Schere hat dir geheißen? Your mother, I mean, your aunt told you to do that? Die Mumme is in Sturnito. Los Moscheke arob die Augen. The aunt is not at home now. Moscheke says, and he looks down. Nein, Moscheke, sie singt sich Reb Simche über sein Arbeit und wiegt sich. Simche der Stoliar ist nicht kein azoi sich lecker. Ist nicht kein, ja, kein, in my Yiddish.
Ethnic kind. He does not eat.
Yeah, but in Litvish and Yiddish it's kein. Es nicht kein lecker, kein. Also wohl meine Mama gesagt. Kein. No, Moshenke, he says, Simcha says, while he's above his work and he turns, Simcha, the carpenter, he doesn't eat any cake in mitten Dienstag noch halben Tag lecker. In middle of Tuesday, after a half a day, cake. Simcha der Stoliar wird sich nicht kalje machen sein Olam Habo über ein Stück lecker. Simcha the carpenter wouldn't ruin his chance to his chances for the next world because of a piece of cake. I guess it was considered a sin to eat cake during the week and not on Shabbos.
Well, do you think it's that, or do you think it's that he's aware, he's figured out that this was in a sense taken without permission?
I agree with
Stolen,
Nathaniel.
Probably.
He took it without asking.
Yeah, that's why he asked, was did she tell you to do this?
Right.
She's not home, so
And
he took it.
he doesn't want to kalyamach his olam haba, his future in the world to come,
Well, that could be, but also it just
over a piece of cake.
yeah, but I believe that it was not customary for
Okay,
Jews of the
well-
shtetl to eat such good things during the week. This is reserved for Shabbos. There's like in Shalom Aleichem stories, like in Middenwoch, they don't eat the same thing as on Saturday.
because they
let's continue.
couldn't afford.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Send in Nebuchadnezzar.
Yeah. I think that in the song, Wenn ich bin a Rothschild, there's a reference to that. Okay, but sein
I
goldene
don't know.
Bett,
Well, maybe
what did you say?
Continue.
Okay, sein
Yeah.
goldene Bett as Mashiach wird kommen. Oh, he doesn't want to risk his golden bed for when Messiah comes by eating this cake. Ot mir zu schem, als du wirst halten a Drosche zu dein Bar Mitzvah, Moschenke, weil mir zu dir kommen essen lecker. When you give your speech at your Bar Mitzvah, then we will come to you and to eat cake.